Welcome to Culture on Tap. We are a podcast that is about bridging the cultural gap one conversation at a time. We have myself, Xavier Brad. I forgot my name. We got Dale next to me, and we have Range Armstrong.
I didn't know what you were going to say because you said myself, but you looked at me. You're just going to say, and we got you. you and me and him.
I forgot my name.
Me, you, and him.
All of us at the same time.
We all here.
We got me, we got you, and we got him.
Clearly, we don't record as good at night.
No. Yeah. If you already haven't, please like, subscribe, and share on anywhere you listen to or watch podcasts. And make sure you hit the bell so that you can get notifications whenever we have new content. So you can tap in with us so that we can be a resource for you, whether it's a challenge or encourage you. Notifications. That was.
So we're clear. When you mess with it, it's way funnier than me because I do it all the time.
But I don't sound like I'm chewing my tongue.
Yeah, but see, you're supposed to be a wordsmith, and I'm just.
It is.
I sound like I'm 3 sheets of the wind every day of my life. I've got 2 dips in, a rock.
Yeah, that's what you sound like. So what are we talking about today?
So here's the cool part. We got to do our fun fact with Range.
Yes.
We had run low on them, but I was it was a double blessing Christmas gift. Double blessing Christmas gift. We got a board game called I Should Know That, which is a really fun game. So that was the first blessing. Mm-hmm. The second blessing was Range played with
it. It should be named different. I should know that. We are living in Range's world or something.
Yeah. Well,
because nobody should know any of this.
Range did not know a lot of it, so the content is full again. Mm. So we'll start with the first thing. Do you think it's rare that people know what the Golden Gate Bridge is and where it is? Or do you think that's just common knowledge?
That is extremely common knowledge. Like, everyone should know what it is.
Why should everyone know what and where it is? I mean, I heard of it before.
First off,
you've heard of it?
Full House.
Full House.
Just by itself.
I heard of it. I've seen it on Full House, but Full House doesn't say, hey, that bridge in our info is over here.
Where?
I don't.
I tried to just bob it.
It's over here, and this is what it is.
So as a kid, I knew the Golden Gate Bridge because of that. From Full House and Homeward Bound 2.
Yeah.
Lost in San Francisco.
But I mean, like, how many movies?
I hadn't seen them.
Like, almost, I could think of.
You haven't seen Homeward Bound?
2. You said 2.
Okay.
Yeah. The second one's not as good as the first one, but it's good too.
I like the second one better.
Really? So that's a question. In our comments, please respond. I feel like it's common knowledge to learn in elementary school that the Golden Gate Bridge is in San Francisco.
Yep.
And it's in like...
But if you don't live there, why is that common knowledge?
Because, it's in TV shows and movies, and it's like an iconic landmark.
For them.
No. The way it's built. Like, people...
Look, this ain't a swamp in Iowa, Louisiana. This ain't that. This ain't that.
Like, people that go to San Francisco want to go across the Golden Gate Bridge. Like,
okay.
I mean, we know you're not going in.
I mean, I've been there.
To San Francisco?
No. I've been to California.
But yeah, so
we need to have an episode where it's just fun facts with Range and us trying to convince him that these places are actually real, like Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, like which one of these is not a real place?
You gonna show it to me on Google?
So yeah, there's your fun fact of the day. Like, and the crazy part was he was partnered with his wife. And she had gone to the kitchen or something like that. And, like, before we could even... Did you answer or you were just like, I have no earthly idea?
I don't remember.
But we, like, we said, what? No, it said, what bridge is in San Francisco?
Oh, yeah.
What landmark bridge is in San Francisco? And he goes, how could anyone possibly know that? And, of course, all of us at the same time were like, well, it's the
Golden Gate Bridge.
Golden Gate Bridge.
Lost those points.
Clearly.
So yeah. So
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That is great. Fun fact.
Fun fact.
Fun facts.
And apparently we got plenty more.
Oh, yes.
They were.
But there were. But in his defense,
In both directions.
there were some things. There was one specifically that he said with confidence, which we'll get to in another episode. Like you just said, Golden Gate Bridge. It said it like we should all know that, and I'm like, no,
Well, that's the game, huh?
yeah,
We should all know it.
yeah.
But no, none of them did.
No, because there is some questions, like multiple times there was questions where we were like, that's not I should know that. Like some people would know that. Like, for example, there was one question, well, that's another one for him. But there was one that was like asking what is the original language that came up with the numbers 1 through 5? And it's Arabic. What you say it, I'm like, oh, that makes sense. But like, that's not a
common thing.
yeah.
All right.
Which shout out to our friend Eric. He was actually on the phone and knew that.
Yes, he did get it.
He was like, it's Arabic. And I was like,
Oh.
well, dang. So, which that has nothing to do with
What we're talking about today.
no.
We tried to get into it in the
And they get to know you.
to get to know you, but we're going to talk about New Year's resolutions.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And
We'll
apparently
talk about
that
New Year's
long day, we all
resolutions.
parched.
Man.
This is the next one.
Best water in the world. But yeah, New Year's resolutions.
Yeah.
Whenever y'all think of that, whenever you hear it, how do y'all feel about it?
First thing that comes to mind. Facade.
All right. Just gonna dive right in, huh?
Well, I just feel like there's very few people, like when, in myself included, when I used to do this, most people, they're like, this is my New Year's resolution. Like, I take that as, okay, this is something you want to do, but you're really not going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I'm putting myself in that boat. Like, I'm not just, shame on you. Like, there are a few people that have done that, and I have watched, like, literally do it.
Yeah.
But that also leads to another question we'll get into. What about you, Range?
How about a range?
What I said was,
Yeah.
we'll get into that in a minute. What do you think about this range?
So I mean I agree. New Year's resolutions, I don't, and like you said, including myself, they're not anything that I feel like ever follows through with or gets followed through with, and to me it puts extra unnecessary stress and anxiety on the new year. And I think this year, this past year, whatever, I've said more times than I ever have before. You know, we just make it through this week. It's a new year next week, and we are in that week, and it is.
It was not a Hallmark card?
There ain't nothing changed. Except for the last letter on the date.
There's no reason to shoot fireworks.
And the way my week is going, I even messed that up too.
Last letter on the date?
On the date, the 3 to the 4.
Number?
What did I say? Letter?
Yeah, I don't even say
Then I was like, December, okay, that ends with an R, and then January.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, what?
That point and case. Yeah. So.
He said it. And he made me the 3 times to a 4. Like I'm an idiot.
Well, I was thinking something like, but they always.
That's those non-Arabic numbers.
I was like January, February. Like, am I spelling it wrong? Like,
okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So what about you? No, what about you?
Yeah, I don't do New Year's resolutions. I don't think that there's anything wrong with them, because I think in people's minds it's, and I don't know this for sure. I just in my head trying to think about it. I think in people's minds it's an easy way to reset.
Yes.
Right? Like you have goals, you haven't followed through.
This is the perfect day.
This is when I'm going to get it done. This is when I'm going to start. Yeah. So I think there's nothing necessarily wrong with them. I think when, like, I've been asked, like, I did my errands today, so I got my hair cut and all of that. And in every spot I was asked, what's your New Year's resolution? And whenever I said, I was like, I don't really have one. They're like, oh, like there's something wrong with me.
Yeah, like you're
you're I'm the problem.
They look at you like you've already failed at life.
Yeah, like, oh wow, it's January 3rd.
Yeah, you don't.
Or actually January 10th. you don't have a New Year's resolution. So I think for people in their heads, it's like, okay, this is an easy way to reset. To try that startup business, to do this, to do that, or whatever. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's just, I think the culture at large, we are not batting as well, whenever it comes to actually following through with those things.
Mm-hmm.
So, in my journal, this might get a little deep. I agree and disagree with you on it not being bad. I think in people's heart of hearts, it's not wrong. I believe as a Christian, you are flirting with sin nature, having New Year's resolutions. Because, and I don't want to blanket statement that some people already implement that I'm going to need God to help me do this. But in itself, this is something that God laid on my heart the other day. A New Year's resolution is something that you think inside of yourself that you can change, which is already in the wrong mindset. Trying to move forward. And again, it's a praise me. Like, let me tell you, like it's something that we need. That's the other thing. Even if you're doing it, why in the world do you feel like you have the right to ask me
what your
New Year's resolution was going to be, or that I need to tell you? Like, it's a very, to me, it flirts with pride from the jump, and it either ends with praise of man, not God. And again, I don't want to say everyone. I do think there's people out there that maybe they lose 50 pounds or they get out of debt or whatever, and they immediately give the praise to Jesus. I haven't seen a lot of that. It's usually praise of man, or it's failure of man that leads to depression, and I'm never going to change. It's the way I see it a lot, personally.
Yeah, no, I get that. I don't see it that way. A lot, but I could definitely understand.
And I don't think that's anybody's intent. I think
because my thought process. Heck, I said this. I don't know when I first said it, but it was at church. One of these years, I said we don't need to worry about new year, new me. We need to worry about new mornings, new mercies.
Yeah.
Because the reality is that for a Christian, we don't have to wait till January 1 to start new.
Right.
Morning by morning, new mercies we see. And that is from God. So I think whenever I'm talking about, I don't think that it's a big deal. I think from the standpoint of having goals.
No, that part 100%.
Yeah, having goals, putting things like, okay, I want to read the Bible in a year. I want to do these things. I have these goals in place. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that, with people just trying to reset. Now, I do think that it is an illusion to think that, okay, this year, like this date, like it's like turning a page, but it's really not turning a page. It's just starting a new paragraph.
Right. Like it's literally, we're talking about 24
the next
hours.
Day.
Yeah.
You know?
But would you agree I agree with everything you just said, but would you agree that maybe we should be asking the deeper seated issue of, okay, you've decided this year for the first time you're going to read the Bible in a year. Why has your passion allowed you to wait? Do you have to wait till January 1? Like I get it's the first day of the year, but like, why? Or if you feel like, and I'm speaking solely to believers, as non-believers, I get it. Like, I get wanting to have motivation to do something and having a start date. I'm an organized person. Like, I like to be able to do dates that way. But as a believer, if something is oppressed on you that this needs a change in your life, the ability to wait 2 months, even 10 days, is that opposite of how Christ would want us to be. Does that make sense? And again, I don't think that anybody is maliciously thinking about that. But the sad part is we teach that from the pulpit. We don't. But people teach, like, I mean, how many people probably preach a New Year's resolution message? Let's start the year out loving God better. Like, and the reality is we're talking about, because this is the first year that I can remember where New Year's Eve was on Sunday. We're talking about a 12-hour difference supposed to change your life. Yeah. And I mean, why? Like, I guess that's my thing. Like, why have we put so much stock into this fictitious thing? Because the reality is there's people around the world that could care less what day it is. Yeah. Like, that's I would say, probably not just a first world problem, but it's clearly like a first world thing. To make a big deal about the New Year.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with that. Where you at, Range? With what you've heard, you agree, you disagree,
No. Sorry. I'm like, I already chimed in.
Well, and so I want to say this. I did get a positive comment from someone that they want to hear from you more in the shows. Yeah. So I think this is a good time.
Yeah. There you go.
There we go. No, I mean, I definitely see both of your points of view. I get, yes, goals are always good to have, and like I said, I was definitely guilty of it this year, putting emphasis on the day to start, new goals and new things and this, that, and the other. But I also agree, with Dale as far as what are we accomplishing by saying, in November saying January 1, I'm going to start reading my Bible, or I'm going to start, losing weight, or I'm going to, do this or do that.
Well, and so not trying to I don't think you would care that much. I think a prime example though is it's been over a month ago. So you're in the process of working towards eldership in our church. There's books that you're reading. Yes. And you could have clearly, and this is, I think, to my point, you could have said, and because you verbalized to us that you haven't been doing as well as you should. So I'm not airing business that you haven't been. And just a disclaimer, it's a lot of books. So don't
I have finished all of them except for one.
So to me, the part that I think is to my point is, you sent us a message that I have not been doing what I'm supposed to do. I apologize, and I'm getting back on the bandwagon right now. Where you could have easily said, the end of this year is hectic. January 1, I'm jumping back on it. Right. And I think that's my point. If there's something in our life that we think needs to change, why are we not changing it? Right. And again, I'm not saying that we always do that. I think there's sin nature in this, and that's why we should be asking the question. And if we think changing from December 31st to January 1st makes it any easier, that's a mirage in your brain that or it's a lie. We need to be asking the question, being transparent myself. I have been working at being in the gym and being diligent about losing weight. I did not do as well as I wanted to during the Christmas holidays. I've chosen not to beat myself up, but I've jumped back in it, which is crazy because I went to the gym yesterday, and I know where a lot of the New Year's resolutions started because the place was packed. And the reality is, like, I jumped back in it because I already made that commitment.
Yeah.
But it also took me years to realize the reason I couldn't follow through was because my idol worship, this was my comfort zone. This was my, and I had to release that to commit to change.
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem. Like, if it's just, I'm going to read, and even, like, let me just say, just because you read the Bible in a year is not, like, that's amazing. But that shouldn't be the goal. It should be hanging on his every word. Even if you just read one book of the Bible for a year. Like, and don't get me wrong, I try to read the Bible every year. But there have been years that I haven't finished because I get stuck in an area of Scripture and I just can't move past it. So yeah, I think that's a valid point.
Yeah. I was listening to my friend, mentor, pastor, whenever I was in Springfield, and he was talking his message on this past Sunday. He was talking about for Christians, and it's so simple, yet it was just like, oh yeah, you're right. It's hard for us to actually abide in anything. He was coming from John 15. He's like, it's hard for us to just sit down and really soak something in because we live in a culture that's constantly on the go and constantly moving. He's like, look, we just ended Christmas. All the decorations and everything is down. And there's already Valentine's Day stuff
In the stores.
He's like, after that, it's going to be Easter stuff. He's like, after that, it's going to be 4th of July. After that, we'll find ourselves right back in this place. He was like, so how do you do this? How do you abide in a culture that is constantly telling you to move forward, move towards your goals, move towards your dreams, move towards all of these things? It's really difficult to abide in anything.
Yeah.
Let alone Christ. And that's what we're called to do.
Right.
But we live in a culture that doesn't actually steward that. So we have to go out of our way to actually do that. But it's hard to do that because we're constantly on the go.
Yeah.
You know,
That's good.
You know, and it's something like simple, but at the same time, I was like, yeah, well, this makes a lot of sense.
Right.
From the sense of like, it's hard to actually abide in anything. Whenever you're constantly on the go. And I think, the root word for resolution is resolve. Everybody is trying to basically make a firm determination to whatever course of action to move forward.
Right.
So it's literally the resolution, the New Year's resolution or any resolution is trying to move forward and move toward a goal. And in actual, like the reality is that we just use the beginning of the year to reset, to do something that really is like, yes, I have this goal in place, but it's hard to actually abide in anything.
But I think what you said is so powerful in the resolve part. Like, how many people could answer that question? Mm-hmm. So you have this new resolution. What did you resolve in yourself? Mm-hmm. Like, because for me, like, yeah, I mean, if your resolution is to lose weight, you can go, well, I'm overweight. That's common sense. But like for me, I came to a resolve that like, I'm not just overweight. Like it's a sin nature in me that's causing me to fight this and to stay here and to make humor about it and all those things. And I think, and hear me say this, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with if you want to measure your year to year, like show growth, those things. Cause like, I think that's healthy to pick a day and say like, in 6 months. But I would say sometimes God, he keeps you in somewhere longer than that season of a year. And just trying to, I guess for me, it's just a big thing for me in the past 6 months has been, I just want to hear from you. Mm-hmm. I don't understand a lot of things that are going on. It has not gone the way I would like for it to go. I mean, we kind of talked about this in our just being open and honest, but like, I just like the crazy part is that I told someone this, like as much as I have not loved this season, I love the fact that I have not lost his presence and I haven't drifted at all. Like my love for him has not changed. In fact, I've probably drawn on him more. But I would gladly pass up the earthly part of this. Like we can take that test off the table now. Like but he might be saying no, we can't. Like and he knows better than me. And so like that's the thing. So here's a question for you, because you said this a minute ago, and Timothy Keller, who has passed away, who is way smarter than just about probably anybody I know, made this statement about, because you said it and it triggered it in me. You said, I think that most people are innocent, and I do agree with that. I think that most people, there's no, like, it's just an innocent thing that we've grown up doing. Like, this is who we are. But my question is, Timothy Keller says, his statement is, the lack of true mentorship in the church has let our innocence turn into our sin nature. And his challenge is, almost everybody's situation starts out as innocent because they just don't know better. But someone has to come along and mentor them that, okay, it is innocent now, but now that you know, is it still innocent? Does that make sense? And I think even
from the resolution,
just for New Year's resolutions, like, so my hope is, because I don't want anybody to think that I'm going like, if you made a New Year's resolution that you are sinful and you need to repent. My question is, why? And now that you've been challenged, that's why I hope that you dig in and ask that question. Like, are you just making one because you've always done that?
Yeah.
And like, dude, like, ask in your heart, do you really think you're going to do it? Like, or is it just another year?
Yeah, no, I can definitely rock with that. With anything, not just New Year's resolutions, but
absolutely.
Why do you want to start this business? Why are you, going to the gym? Why are you, putting your kids in sports? The why behind everything that we do as Christians should be filtered through that for sure. So I can definitely rock with that. Yeah.
Yeah, because even you saying that, like, one of the things that God convicted me of, so going to the gym and finally getting like faithful about it, I've realized that I really do enjoy the cardio aspect of it. I can zone out.
Do you enjoy the gym?
I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I'm getting closer.
Isn't that interesting?
I will.
Isn't that interesting? How many times from the pulpit
So disclaimer.
Multiple.
Exactly.
Disclaimer. So
okay.
Hot take. I actually admitted it to your sister the other day because me and her joke about how much we hate the gym, and I said, I'm just letting you know, Mickey. And I didn't realize I'm enjoying it until because of Christmas with my brother-in-law in town, I did not go for about a week and a half, and I caught myself missing it.
This is interesting.
But here's the crazy part. So this is
here we go.
No, this is something like internally that I'm having about. As much as I'm missing it, taking that time off, I can find myself having trouble still going back. Mm-hmm. And I think that's so like our spiritual walk. Yeah. You can miss the Lord and still not want to go back to the Lord. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Not equating the gym with. No. But even in this season, God convicted me because I got into the cardio thing, and I think I even told you they do Disney runs that are virtual because I can't afford to go to Disney just to do a run. Mm-hmm. And if I'm being honest, if I go to Disney, I'm not running. No. I mean, I'm going to run to Norway and eat, and then I'm going to run to
run the Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
Going to run the Space Mountain.
We got a lot to get done. But, so I was like, I'm going to do this virtual Disney run because you get cool Disney medal. And I'm not saying I'll never do it, but I decided not to because I just felt like God was telling me, so you're making it about you again. Like you're trying to find a way to make this, instead of just making it that you're getting rid of something that you held dear and conquering something just for me and you. And so I didn't sign up. I'm not saying that. And here's the thing, I'm praying okay, Lord, show me when I can, because I do think it'd be cool to do it. Just to be able to say look, I can do this. But I didn't this time. I chose not to sign up, and now it's past the date that you can sign up. So, but there's a lot that I'm learning in So disclaimer: I am officially missing the gym.
Mm-hmm.
I am missing the gym.
Look at there.
What?
And
Wow.
there's
He's like, I don't know what X is talking about. I'll never miss the gym.
No.
and so we're clear. If you go to my gym, you probably saw how annoyed I was, how packed it is. It's not very godly. I walked.
Just wait. 3 weeks from now,
It'll be back.
to
I
normal.
walked in and I did one of these. Like I walked in like I am built like the Rock. I walked in and was like, like you're messing up my regimen. And they all looked at me like, this is your first time here too, bro. So
Don't worry about it. You know, come January 25th,
Yeah.
I'll be back to normal.
yeah, by Valentine's Day it'll be good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am. He is correct. It took me a little longer to get there, but I do miss it. And honestly, I think I think the biggest thing for me, one, I do tell a difference in the way I sleep, all those things,
Yeah.
like a health perspective.
Yeah.
But the other side, it's the place that I get to clear my head the most because unless it's an emergency, I don't answer the phone.
Yeah.
I don't check text. I usually put on a podcast or music or whatever, and just it's my time. And now that my son goes with me, it's our time, and I think that's a really thing that I've begun to cherish.
Yeah.
When I get out of bed.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's great.
You're all you heard was that.
You're enjoying the gym. That's it.
Which has to be tough for you because you just got to be back in the gym.
Yeah, this is my first week back in 79 days.
Which is tough because you had already it was already a way of life for you because how many
79.
years had you been doing it?
3.
3. So like it was like this is just daily regimen for me.
Yeah.
And to not do it and that now I have to feel soreness again has got to suck.
Bro, I can't feel like I can feel every time I move, I feel something hurting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been rough for me for sure. Being out of my routine, my regiment, but you know, it's just part of the climb. Yeah, we'll be back. And yeah, we're gonna get it done. Well, this has been Culture on Tap. Thank you guys for tapping in with us. And you know, let us know how you feel.
Hey, and you know what you can
comments.
do? If you want to make a New Year's resolution, here's your New Year's resolution. Subscribe and like the YouTube and podcast.
And tell
give
5
it-
friends.
And tell 5 friends.
5 friends.
5 friends.
Everybody got 5 friends.
Everybody
Got 5
Hey,
friends.
it don't even
Only
have to be
got-
a good
only got
friend. You can,
With 3, Eric.
yeah. It don't even have to be a good friend. It can be a next door neighbor,
Yeah. An acquaintance.
an acquaintance.
Yes, well, thank you guys for tapping in with us. Can't wait to see y'all next week. Houston Radio Platinum, playing the best classic hits. You can download the Houston Radio Platinum app. It's in your app store, or just ask Alexa to play Houston Radio Platinum. So-